Hello, welcome to this short video on a huge build pipeline. That's a strange title, isn't it? Now, what I wanted to show you during this short video is actually just talking about the building blocks that ALOps provides in terms of you setting up your build or release pipeline. Now, building blocks is important. ALOps wants to keep you as flexible and as efficient as you are with setting up build pipelines and release pipelines for Azure DevOps. Now, doing that, we just provided extra steps that are very business central related for you to be able to easily work with business central related tasks, but still have the flexibility of setting up any kind of DevOps pipeline, release or build or validate like you want. And this is just a list of building blocks that we provide. There is a lot of Docker stuff going on. We do a lot with Docker, obviously, because we need to be able to run tests, which is also a step. But on top of that, we are able to sign your apps. We are able to check your license, your on-prem license, because it's easy for us to create an extra object, but that object might not be in the license of my on-prem customer. So I won't like to test that and validate that in the validation pipeline as well, and so on. We have a fast compile, and not unimportantly, we also have the generation of a Swagger file. We can create an open API description of any kind of custom API that you create. Your partners will like this. So yeah, this is just a list, but I wanted to show you all this by means of a demo. Now, this demo is actually just a pipeline that I created by means of validating my code. So just imagine I'm a developer, I created a pull request, I would like to validate my code. And this is the result. I basically have warnings. Now, this already indicates that I am flexible in setting up certain stuff, let's say. But let's dive into the actual pipeline. So there is a lot of steps that's going on here, but we'll start and we'll pick out the most important parts. And it already starts here with the fast compile. You see here, that's the one that actually failed. Not really failed, it partially succeeded with a warning. But the one thing that I would like to point you to is that this fast compile is the actual compile step, which basically compiles by means of an app source app, which also tests against breaking changes and all that. You already know the result after 43, like 50 seconds. And that is important. I would like to have my pipeline to fail fast if my app doesn't even compile, right? I do not want to set up a Docker container and then only be able to compile. No, it needs to fail fast because I'm a developer. I just created my pull request, and if it fails, I need to know it fast because I'm still in that scope, that context, in that mindset of that customer, of that issue, that feature that I'm creating. You see it failed, not really. There are some code cop warnings, and that's already just something I would like to indicate. If you browse on top of this output, we give a lot of output with ALOps, and every single step gives you all the parameters and the values that these parameters have. And you see here that the fail on warnings is false. Kind of like meaning do not fail when there is a warning, just provide them as a warning. I would easily be able to set this to false, to true, sorry. Then the pipeline would fail, my pull request would fail because the validation fails. Cool. Next, I'm able to sign my apps. I'm able to create a Docker container, start this Docker container, and then install all the test tools in there. I'm able to check my license. This is the license check that I was talking about, where we test our developments against the license that I've set up for my pipeline. Just imagine this is a customer license. If I created that next table that doesn't belong in my customer or that's not licensed, I would already have a validation error here and the pipeline would once again fail. I would not be able to deploy that app, which is making it a lot safer. Furthermore, we're obviously running our tests and publish the test results, which kind of like makes that within DevOps, we have a nice overview of all the tests that succeeded or failed. Now, all of them passed in this pipeline. Furthermore, you will see that I create here an open API description. We will see where we get that, but in this open API description, you see all the APIs that it creates a description for. That's also, we need to do that in a Docker container because we need that API to run to be able to create that documentation. When we now look at the artifacts, we will see that there are two published artifacts. And you immediately see that the result of this open API description, all the descriptions are here of all the APIs. And you see here the YAML files and even EDMX files, which you can use in a Swagger editor, let's say, so you can easily describe these files. What we also have here is obviously our app files. This is the result of the compile step, but even more, if anything would fail, I have set it up that it will always create the event viewer of the Docker container that it just created, and also the SQL database. So if a pipeline would fail, you have access to the SQL database and the event viewer to try to figure out what happened, which gives you a lot of debug functionalities, a lot of flexibility. So yeah, this was it. Take care.